Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, beta. Finally, a combined class after so long.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Again we are.
Yeah, back again. Let everyone join in first. No?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Sushant.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Ma'am.
Yes, Rita.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good afternoon. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome, class 7. A, B, C. To all the three sections are here today. So, C section, I want to ask you people, did we complete the chapter yesterday or not? Was anything left?
No, ma'am.
No.
Ma'am,
Why
I understand with the long answers.
Okay, then we will do it tomorrow.
morning, ma'am.
Okay, beta, we'll
Good
do that
afternoon.
tomorrow. I was saying that in this lecture, we'll begin with a new chapter because all three sections are here. Right? All three sections are
Ma'am?
here. Yes.
Ma'am, if this is all three sections, so ma'am, why we are why we are doing the new starting new chapter?
Then what should we be doing? Huh?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
No, I think you people, class B section has completed all the questions. A section is left with
Yes. Yes.
And we are left with 3 questions.
3
We are
questions.
left.
So no, we'll not waste it like that. We'll start with a new
Our
chapter.
one.
We'll start with a new chapter today. Okay? Fine, children. As you know that 9th is not coming. 10th chapter of history will be starting. Okay? That's the rise of autonomous states in the 18th century. Kindly be ready with your books, everyone.
Ma'am, I'm saying in 7th B class, we have not done all the question answers.
No worries, Sanya. Just be quiet and do whatever I'm saying. Quiet.
No, ma'am, we have done.
Yes, I know we have done. We have discussed the last one as well. Okay. Yes. And now, children, this is a very nice chapter and probably the last chapter of history. After finishing this chapter, we will be done with the syllabus of history, right? Okay, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, there's a very interesting chapter in which we are going to read about the rise of all those states with autonomous states, right? Now, can you people please first brief me about the meaning of autonomous? What do you mean by the term autonomous?
Rise of new states.
Rising.
Guys, we have already given. What is a
New.
Ma'am, new. I'm talking about. No, not new.
Ma'am, I know.
Yes, Krishna.
Ma'am, a country or region.
Autonomous
the states that were not before but are now rising. Ma'am, but like
freedom, independence.
Autonomous, yes, very done, Ria. That's what it is. Autonomous means having the freedom to govern themselves, self-governed states, right? Now these states were becoming independent, having the freedom to govern themselves, right? So in this chapter, we'll read about the cause of the decline of Mughal Empire after Aurangzeb's reign. We'll see that how Aurangzeb proved to be a weak emperor and whose policies led to the decline of the Mughal Empire. Then we'll also read about the now what happened once the Mughal Empire started losing its grip. Earlier, we know the Mughal Empire was very strong, right? It was very strong in India, but when something strong starts to loosen its grips, and what happens is that people try to assert for their independence, right? This is what happened when the Mughal Empire got weak. Then various states tried to come up as independent states, right? They started working for their independence, and that's how they came up as independent states. That's what we are going to read. Okay, now
Yes, ma'am.
we will also read about the rise of Marathas under Shivaji. How Shivaji proved to be a very wonderful reader, and it gave Marathas a new meaning. Yes, Daksh.
Ma'am, in this chapter we will learn some part means that we are learn in the next class. We will learn that or some part
What better?
of modern history.
I couldn't understand your point.
Ma'am, I am saying that we will learn some part of modern history also in this chapter.
No, not modern history, beta. That's not modern history. Modern history is a time period of these people. No, what do we call them? The Britishers and the moment when the Britishers arrived.
East India Company.
Yes, the East India Company. The number of students we have are 27.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yeah. So yes, children, let's get started. So as we know that Mughal Empire reached its greatest extent during the time of Aurangzeb, right? During the time of Aurangzeb, it was very, it expanded to its greatest extent. Extent means it has the largest area under its control during the time of Aurangzeb, but it collapsed with a dramatic suddenness within a few decades after his death. After the passing away or after the death or demise of Aurangzeb, it started to weaken and it collapsed. Collapsed means bikhar gaya, khatam, devastated. It was all destroyed, right? The boundaries of the Mughal Empire were reshaped by the emergence of autonomous state. Now the boundaries need to be reshaped because there were many states, many regions which were a part of the Mughal Empire itself, but later on what happened is that they asserted their independence and then they reshaped the boundaries. Okay. By the later, like, can you see this map, children?
Ma'am, this we will draw in a notebook.
You will draw. You can see the new autonomous things came up, such as the Holkar
Lucknow.
Marathas, the Rajputs, the Sikhs, the Bengal, right? All these people came up, right? The Ranjit Singh's kingdom, the British territory. We have read in the previous chapter, no? Like Ranjit
Ma'am,
Singh,
what is Peshwa?
Peshwa by basically were the Marathas. The kings and Marathas were known as Peshwas. We have seen Bajirao Mastani.
Yes,
And ma'am,
ma'am.
and ma'am, in our area it is Awadh.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, our
Yes,
area is
ma'am.
Awadh. Right. It was in the Awadh kingdom earlier. Okay. So I would like to show you the map of the Mughal Empire during the reign of Aurangzeb. And then you will see that how powerful this king was. Like actually, it had led it to greater extents. I don't know why is this hanging today. Right?
Sometimes Zoom not respond.
I know. Very sorry, it's hanging the device, no children. Sorry for the inconvenience. I don't know why is it happening.
Ma'am, 1 minute.
Hanji? This device is hanging. Just give me a moment.
I'm able to see the screen and the maps.
You're able to see?
Ma'am, I am seeing the map, ma'am, by searching one.
That's wonderful. See, now I think you'll be able to see. Can you see my screen, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
it comes under Delhi, Agra.
Now you can see how vast the Mughal Empire was. Just look at this green map. It's just taking a lot of time. Right, children? You can see this map, this Aurangzeb's empire, the purple one. Can you see
Yes,
like
ma'am, I have seen.
all the entire purple area was ruled by Aurangzeb? Can you see like entire India was under his control? Can you
Ma'am,
see this?
Pakistan
Yes,
also.
ma'am. Even parts of Pakistan, Bangladesh,
Ma'am, Afghanistan, Kabul.
Afghanistan, all of this territory was controlled by the great Mughal called Aurangzeb. I think now you can see the map very clearly. Can you see the
I can
Rajputana
see.
kingdom, the
Yes, ma'am.
Punjab,
Ma'am,
the
but
Punjab
here,
kingdom?
ma'am, only maps are coming, ma'am. Like it's
Ma'am, but
not
I have
coming.
searched on
We have
Google and
opened
ma'am
a
seen
single
that you
map.
are
Only
seeing.
maps are coming.
Hanji?
Yes, ma'am. Now it's yes, ma'am. Now it's coming.
Can you see this Aurangzeb's empire? Can you see how
Yes, ma'am.
vast
Able
it is?
to.
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am. I'm not able to see your screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, like
Ma'am,
this whole pink part is Aurangzeb's empire.
Exactly, this whole pink part was ruled by the Mughals. This
Means he
entire
was a
part.
Ma'am, I didn't believe that.
I'm
It's
saying
like just whole India.
it is India only, but
Almost.
you can see no how much has he taken up.
Yes,
And
Pakistan,
showing very
Afghanistan,
clear the map
Bangladesh.
in the group kids, you can see that.
Whole India.
Ma'am, South part also, Vijayanagar,
Even
Mysore,
the southern part, like most of the parts
Gini.
were ruled by him.
No, ma'am.
And
It
ma'am,
is not
and ma'am, our
Vijayanagar.
area also.
Our area as well. Can you see that?
Ma'am,
Mathura,
Allahabad also.
Yes, ma'am.
Lucknow,
Ma'am, if we cut
Banaras.
some parts from Pakistan and all and fill in India,
So
then
this
whole
only
India.
with this the motive of me showing you this map was that you yourself can realize that how strong this Mughal empire was. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Ma'am,
you
how
can
he
take
can
some
came in
parts from that
Vrindavan?
Pakistan,
Ji?
and then we will add
Ma'am,
to
how he
India,
can
ma'am.
came in
Then
Vrindavan?
also some part will
Now
later.
let's see what happened after this. Like this was after the death of Aurangzeb and decline of Mughal Empire. Mein. You can see the pink part was under Akbar. This the pink part was being occupied by Akbar, and this is the blue part which you can see here, children. Can you see it?
Where?
In my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. The death of
Right.
Aurangzeb.
Yes, this was all expansion. This the part they expanded under Aurangzeb, right? And Shah Jahan and all. Right, children? Can you see it?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So,
Okay.
ma'am, it was like half Akbar under Akbar and rest half of the rulers after Akbar.
Ma'am, like more than half.
Exactly. Okay, so this is the Mughal Empire in 1605, and that's how they expanded it in by 1707. Okay.
Ma'am, if we will cut all and we will keep Uttar Pradesh only, so that full part of UP is covered in or by Aurangzeb.
Yes.
Ma'am, like if we will go to Allahabad, then ma'am, near the Sangam, ma'am, like there is a fort that is made by Akbar.
Yes. Many things.
Yes,
have
ma'am,
been done.
army is there.
Many things have been done by her. But what happened is that after the death of Aurangzeb, many independent states such as the Marathas, right, and you can see, the Sikhs and all these states came after his death. You can see this Rajputana kingdom, Sindh kingdom, okay, Sikh kingdom, all these independent states, Jats and all, they all came after this. After what do we
Ma'am,
say?
Indus River was also in Aurangzeb.
Yes, Indus River was also. It was all this
Ma'am, that
area was
Indus River. Yes, ma'am.
this vast area was occupied by him. Thank you so much, Daksh. Thank you so much. I totally forgot that. Good afternoon, Beta. Right, children? Just a minute. Yeah. So did you get to know an idea about how vast the Mughal Empire was and how the Mughal Empire led to the decline of Mughal Empire led to the emergence of independent states? The motive of showing the map first was this only, so that you can be familiar with what are we going to read in the chapter. Okay, so I think you have understood what is there, what's going to be there in the chapter. Now we'll begin.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so just a minute, beta. Yeah. So now we'll talk about the crisis in the Mughal Empire. What is the meaning of crisis, children?
Ma'am, which?
Crisis.
Ma'am, problems.
Well done. Crisis means the problems in the Mughal Empire, the problems which the Mughal Empire was facing. Right? So, Aurangzeb's religious policies with both the Deccan and the Rajputs contributed heavily to the downfall of the empire, which means that we know that Aurangzeb has acquired a lot of area. That's true. But somewhere he couldn't end up to be a very efficient ruler. He did not share very good terms with the people in the Deccan and the Rajputs. Okay, children? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And somewhere
Yes, ma'am.
this only led to the downfall of the empire. Just imagine if he would have shared good relations with them, they wouldn't have asserted their independence, there wouldn't have been wars, and the Mughal Empire would have gone on further. Now, his long war in Deccan had depleted the resources of the Mughal. Obviously, children, it is a proven fact. Like wars, with the like during the wars, is it like don't we spend anything, or a lot of things are wasted? Energy, men, material, resources, everything. So because of his long war, many resources of the Mughals have been depleted, used here, and the burden on the treasury also increased. What do you mean by treasury, children?
And treasures of the king.
Treasury refers to the treasures of the king. Like right now, we also have a government treasury, right? That is why the budget had been introduced yesterday to tell
Yes,
that
ma'am. Union budget.
all the money which the government is taking from us, what is the government going to do with that money, right? Where does that all money go? Do you know that? All the money which the government takes, where does it go?
Ma'am, things.
Where?
Ma'am, health, public welfare.
At first, it goes to the government's treasury. Where does it go? The government's
Government treasury.
and then the government allocate amount to various policies for the development project, for this, for that. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So now the burden on the Mughal treasury increased because long wars of succession. They fought way too many wars, liberians, luxurious style of rulers, which led to financial bankruptcy, which means they were financially bankrupted. Bankrupted means
And empty. Doesn't have any money.
they're not having any money, right? Another major cause of the decline was the lack of worthy and competent successor to Aurangzeb. One more thing was that Aurangzeb's policies may be very harsh, but he was a very competent ruler. But after the death of Aurangzeb, the people who succeeded means beta,
The people who
Ruling the
protect
kingdom after him.
Next.
Yes, ma'am. Who came after Aurangzeb?
they were not as strong and competent as Aurangzeb. The successor rulers were weak and lacked the character, motivation, and commitment to rule the empire strongly. To be a ruler of such a big empire, you need to have something in you, only then you will be able to rule, right? Otherwise, you will not be.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So the absence of any definite law of succession was another important factor. Do you know how they used to be succeeded? It was not like that only the elder son is going to be the successor or this one will be the successor. No. Any son of the king can become the successor, and because of this, those brothers used to fight amongst each other as well to become the king, right? The war of succession with his brother Dara Shikoh not led to bitterness, bloodshed, and loss of money and prestige of the empire over a period of time, but also to its eventual downfall. Somewhere they are saying that the war of succession. Can you please tell me the meaning of the war of succession? What does it refer to?
Ma'am, like the war
Ma'am,
is
success.
For the
Ma'am, success.
war for
the
the
war for
success.
that who will rule next.
Yes, succession means who is going to rule next. That is what we mean by war of succession, right? So, yeah. So this means that what? Yeah. Now this meant that these people, like apart from fighting with others, they were also fighting with each other, which also led not only devastated the bittern, it led to a lot of bloodshed, a lot of people died, a lot of money had been lost, the prestige of the empire had been lost, but also this also led to the downfall of the empire. The Mughal Empire ended also because of this, right? During the time of Aurangzeb, the Mughal Empire had reached its maximum size, which we just saw. Right, children? We saw that how vast it was, right? Isn't it? It was bigger than the India which
Yes,
we
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
wasn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
Yes, ma'am.
the vast area had become impossible for one ruler to control from one center. It was very difficult for them to control such a vast area from one center. Because of this, during it was the period of the later Mughals that Deccan, Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha declared their independence, which means that after the death of Aurangzeb, the later Mughals came, so they couldn't rule it properly. That is why the people, the leaders who were there at Deccan, Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha, they declared their independence. And as you can see, I have shown you the map. You can see that there, the area like Bengal came up as an independent area. Then they have mentioned Bihar came up as an independent area, right? Independent kingdom. Deccan area was also like the Nizam, Mysore, this refers to the Deccan area. They also came out as independent kingdoms. They were like, we don't need these weak rulers to rule us anyway. The raids by Nadir Shah. Nadir Shah was an invader who used to come from the other countries to invade the wealth of India. The raids by Nadir Shah and repeated invasions of Ahmad Shah Abdali resulted in further weakening of the empire. Do you know the meaning of raid, children?
Yes, ma'am.
What does it
Yes,
mean?
ma'am.
Raids.
Ma'am, it is related to black money.
No, right now it is related to black money. Earlier, these people from other kingdoms used to come and they used to do looting here in our country.
Ma'am, loot the wealth and then go back in their countries
Exactly.
and use it there.
Yes. So Nadir Shah's invasion de-established the Mughal Empire, and as a result, the Marathas and governors of Awadh, Bengal, and Rohillas became independent. Right. So that's what led to the decline of Mughal Empire. Children, please believe me, it's a very, very, very important topic. So, in case you're not able to understand even a little bit of it, please feel free to ask me. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
The decline of Mughal Empire is very
Okay, ma'am.
questions regarding to this will come not only right now, even if you give any exam later on, any government exam or anything, questions related to this come there. So this is a very important topic, right? What led to the decline of Mughal Empire? Who was the last Mughal king? This and so and so, right? So now,
Many questions became in this paragraph only.
yes. Now, Rachit, please read about the invasion of Nadir Shah. Before that, can you please tell me the meaning of invasion, children?
Ma'am, invasion.
Meaning like, ma'am, the formation.
Entering forcefully. Invasion means
Ma'am, Akraman. Ma'am,
entering,
Akraman.
right? Like if I invade somebody's property and loot from there, that's known as entering somewhere forcefully.
Suddenly entering an area to loot the valuables.
Exactly. Correct, Hassan. Yes, Rachit, read.
Okay,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
like to enter in
Invention.
the country within like among force or army.
Yes. Read.
Invention of Nadir Shah.
Not
Nadir
invention.
Shah.
It is invasion. Invasion.
Invasion of Nadir Shah. Nadir Shah, the ruler of Iran, plundered the city of Delhi in 1739 and carried away with him immense wealth, including the Kohinoor diamond and the jewel-studded peacock throne of Shah Jahan.
So what peacock throne of Shah Jahan was considered to be a very beautiful thing of it. India. It's now we have got it back. You know that we have got it back finally.
Ma'am,
This
names
jeweled studded peacock.
Jewel studded peacock throne. Throne means the Raj Gaddi on which we
Ma'am.
sit, right?
Okay.
Okay, that is the throne. Okay. So Nadir Shah was the ruler of Iran and he plundered the city of Delhi. Plundered means, children, he
Ma'am,
looted like anything.
ma'am, looter.
Yes,
Ma'am, looter.
looted like anything.
Ma'am,
He took
ma'am
vast
looted everything.
Yes. He carried away with him immense wealth, a lot of wealth, and the Kohinoor. See how much the Kohinoor has traveled. First it went to Nadir Shah, then the Britishers took it. Where's the Kohinoor now?
Ma'am in England.
Where in England?
Ma'am in the crown of
I'm in the crown of the queen.
The crown of Queen
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. So,
Elizabeth.
and you know
Elizabeth.
the beauty of it is that no matter whether the Kohinoor is, but the Kohinoor is still recognized as India. Like whenever the term Kohinoor comes up, we realize that okay, it's the wealth of India. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So he carried away with him immense wealth. Okay, and including the jewel-studded peacock throne of Shah Jahan. Okay, Kohinoor diamond and jewel-studded peacock throne of Shah Jahan means the throne of Shah Jahan, which was in shape of a peacock, and it had many jewels studded on it. Studded means in like jade hue usme, right?
Yes,
Next
ma'am.
is the invasion of Shah Abdali. This will be read by Arshia. Arshia, I have heard today you're looking like Squid Game's character. Huh?
Ma'am,
Yes,
from where
ma'am.
did you know?
Ma'am,
Palak ma'am said
Yeah. Yes.
Ma'am, Palak ma'am.
Ma'am,
so
it was
hard.
created by me. No one else thought of it.
Even
I
our
observed.
Sanya has an attire of money heist. At times she comes, she looks like she has just come from money heist. All red. Yes. Yes, Arshia, read.
Invasion of Ahmad Shah Abdali. Ahmad Shah Abdali invaded India 5 times between 1748 and 1761. His total plunder has been estimated at rupees 70 crores, which enabled him to exempt his own kingdom from taxation for 3 years. Before leaving Delhi, after the Third Battle of Panipat in 1761, Ahmad Shah declared Shah Alam, ma'am, we will read it as second. Shah Alam II as the emperor.
Now, can you people imagine? Can you just imagine, children? 70 crores at that point of time. Imagine the amount of wealth this man has.
At that time, 30,000 was like so much, and he
70
took
crores,
70
my
crores.
goodness. And just look at it, no? He invaded India 5 times between these 1748 to 1761. The total plunder was around 70 crores, and because of which he enabled so much, he got so much of money that he did not tax his empire for 3 years. He exempted his empire from any tax. The people living there, they did not need to pay any tax. He had so much of wealth, he was enjoying like anything. And that too of India's money. Just imagine.
Ma'am, in
children.
old time, 1 rupee also very high.
Exactly, and 70 crores, my goodness. 70 lakh
Ma'am,
thousand, I don't know how many
Miss,
crores.
that time
India was too wealthy earlier.
We were too wealthy. Just imagine if we wouldn't
Like
have been
if they
invaded.
would
Ma'am,
have
we
not
are-
looted us, then we would be so wealthy. We would be just in the top of the list.
If
in
we would
each
haven't
and
been
every-
invaded,
Yes,
if we
ma'am,
haven't
we are
been
too
colonized by the
Ma'am,
Britishers.
India, ma'am,
And
India में
nature
bonus सोने, ma'am सोने की
Nature
चीजें.
that is the reason Sone ki chiddiyan banned. One more thing. This is nothing. Abhi, when you read about the Britishers, no, you'll be like, what have they done? The amount of money the Britishers have taken from India, you'll be like, oh my goodness, why we couldn't stop that at that point of time?
Ma'am, the alone Kohinoor diamond cost of 26 kharab.
Kharab.
Not even kharab, kharab.
We were actually
Like-
Sone ki Chidiya, right? I wish we could go back to those times and change it all.
I'm like literally we were so
Like
so
trillions.
so rich.
Yes,
And
Hasan.
ma'am, Britishers took some precious stones from Taj Mahal also.
Beta,
They
the
took out
stones and all are
like
something else. They have taken jewels, they have taken a lot, but you will read in the modern history that when they lived in India, no, all their expenses, all their trade, everything was going on with our money. They did not spend a single amount of themselves.
And
Apart from that, they have also taken a lot from here as well.
Ma'am, the government is also doing nothing to bring our Kohinoor back.
That's a debate. That's a very, very
Yes,
much
ma'am,
debated
government
issue.
is not doing nothing.
That's a very debated issue. We'll talk about it
anything.
later. Hassan has something to ask. Let him ask, please. Yes, Hassan.
Ma'am, I want to not ask, ma'am. I want to tell one thing.
Yes, Hassan.
Ma'am, if we had lot of money, so we could have developed our weapons so much so that we could fight them with so much money.
The thing is that
Ma'am, like,
the
we
only
have-
problem with just a minute. The problem with the rulers of India had been that they had been so busy in fighting amongst each other,
Yes,
Right.
in expanding.
expanding their kingdom, in fighting wars of succession. They had been so busy in that they did not
And
realize
they had no unity.
that the others have been benefited
British
from it.
and the invaders were the result of their quarrel.
Exactly. It's all because of that only. Okay. So that is what, before leaving Delhi after third battle Panipat, Ahmad Shah declared Shah Alam as the emperor. Shah Alam became the emperor. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Okay, yes,
Next is the Jagirdari crisis. What was this Jagirdari? Yes, Krishna, read it. What was Jagirdari crisis?
My meaning.
Yes. What? Read it out. Read it out. And then I'll explain.
Oh.
What was Jagirdari?
During
Ma'am, it was a system
Aurangzeb's-
of Jagirdari system.
Yes, we'll talk about it. Yes, Krishna, read it out.
During Aurangzeb's rule, the Jagirdari system had started crumbling. There was a crisis of Jagir land. There was little land compared to the number of Mansabdars who were to be allotted Jagirs. As a result, the Jagirdars began to extract more revenue from the peasantry. The nobles become more powerful under the later Mughals, who were weak. Mughals control went leading to revolts by the Jats. Satanamis, Sikhs, Marathis, and many others in northern India against the Mughal Empire.
Thank you so much. We do not call it Northern India, Northern India. What do we call it?
Northern India.
Northern India. Right, kids. So as we read it out, during Aurangzeb rule, the Jagirdari system had been crumbling. I think you people must have read about it in the previous lectures. What is Jagirdari system?
Ma'am, it was a system that was passed by Jahangir.
Jagir was given to Jagidars.
Jagirdari
of
system
land.
was basically a system in which, listen to me, in which there was a price of there were some people who were giving a piece of land, and they were supposed to live on that land and to collect taxes from the people on the behalf of the king from that land and provide it to the king. Right? This was the Jagirdari system, and the leaders are known as Mansabdars. Okay.
Ma'am, like it was an area assigned to the Mansabdar.
Exactly. So there was a crisis of Jagir land, as there was less land compared to the number of Mansabdars who were allotted Jagirs. Like what did he do is, he allotted Jagirs to n number of people, but the number of Mansabdars was less, right? So as the Jagirs began to extract more from the peasantry, right? Jagir, what happened? They started taking more and more tax from the peasantry. The nobles become powerful under the later Mughals. Okay. but later under the later Mughals who were weak. Mughals were weak, but these Mansabdars, these nobles, they become very powerful. And that is when the Mughal controlled won to the revolt, like led to the revolts by the Jats. Now what happened? They were like, we are more powerful than these rulers are weak. So that is when these people started revolting, like the Jats, the Satnamis, Sikhs, Marathis, and many others in northern India started revolting against the Northern Empire. And that's how they started asserting their independence. And with it came the British and French powers. Now we know that the already weakened empire faced further encroachment by the British and the French. Encroachment means further extraction, further humiliation by the British and the French, which proved to be the last nail in the empire's coffin. This is a phrase, last nail in the coffin, matlab, बस ये ना आखिरी हथौड़ी मानी रहेगी, they were all dead. Soon the British became the masters of the whole India, right? And now in the next
Yes, ma'am.
chapter, we'll read about the rise of regional powers. Okay, I hope you are getting interest in the chapter.
Yes, ma'am. Very.
Yes,
This is very
Yes,
interesting.
ma'am.
yes, ma'am, a lot.
Okay, that's good. I like when you take interest in it. And only 1 minute is left as the meeting is about to be over. Any doubts till
Yes,
where
ma'am.
we have read? Any
No,
questions
ma'am.
to ask?
ma'am. No, ma'am. Tomorrow we will start off coming of the
Yes. See the Britishers, no, when they came, you can see in this map in your book. See, they came
Yes,
and
ma'am.
established themselves.
and coming
in
of
Bengal.
British and French
Yeah.
powers.
You can see this map, no, they established themselves in Bengal. Arshia, can you please send me the comprehension which you have to do in the next lecture? Please send me that. You can send in the group itself.